no numbers, there's no pictures, there's no videos, there's no gameplay. I don't like it.
Yo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. And today, Freemers, we are back with another Palia lore reading. This time around, we're going to be going over the The Cosmo Flow Temple console that we discovered pretty much directly after the last lore reading I read. We're going to be jumping into the whole console here. There's a lot of interesting lore here, and you can kind of gather a lot from this. But I was actually going to look something up real quick because I don't know if it's important. Let's see here. Let's see. So essentially, so there's 365 days in a year, right? There is like in the console logs, there is it's crazy. So okay, now I know. But I'm gonna talk about this in a second because there's some important context to what I'm gonna be talking about, but we're going to be jumping into the lore reading here. There's not too much lore as there is, like, it's more so like figuring things out in terms of what this person was trying to do on this computer. But basically, we're going to be diving into the revelations of Admin 1. We don't know who the admins are. There are 2 admins on record. And it's so weird. Like, we know pretty much every character in the Palia lore right now. We know who they are. Most of them, we don't know what they do. Right? But we don't even know who Admin 1 or Admin 2 are. I mean, they could be any person in this lore. They are not named, which is really weird. I'm sure that's going to get explained at some point. I just don't know when. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into this. So, to kind of start here, we get into the console, we enter the password, welcome Oris. And the password has no meaning. There's no, like, secret lore behind it. I don't think it has a meaning. If it does, that'd be crazy, but I think Singularity 6 was put in for gameplay purpose. But, this console is Oris's because Oris is the creator of Cosmo Flow, that energy. So we get into Oris's computer, and Temple of the Cosmos is what it is called. So it's not like a human overseer station. We're just gonna call Temple of the Cosmos because it's not a human overseer station. It's not. Although it might be. I don't know. / human overseer station. We could leave it as that, but yeah, so if you guys missed the last lore reading, go watch it because it explains everything to do with Oris. The whole thing is basically a lore book on Oris and where Oris' story begins and ends. That is the whole thing. But the main beef of these lore entries in this console is there's obviously the messages, which are in almost all of the consoles, but there's also data on when stuff was engaged and when stuff was disengaged. So let's keep going. So there's a couple things to note here. The Mirror Protocol status. So for those who don't know what the Mirror Protocol is, again, watch the last video. It'll be explained there. The Mirror Protocol is essentially, it was a way to go to a third plane of existence. So there's 2 other planes. There's the material plane And then there's, I believe it's called the flow plane or whatever. It's where flow comes from. There's a second plane where flow comes from. And I'm led to believe that that is the cosmos. I don't know if I wrote it down. I'm pretty sure I would have wrote it down. Doesn't look like that. But anywho, the Mirror Protocol is, it's a way to get into a third plane of existence. The lunar connection, I assume, is a way to connect to the moon. Has some sort of property that helps us, and I don't know what tap is. I'm assuming tap is like tapping into the moon. I don't know. Tap really hasn't been explained. Lunar connection has been loosely explained, but it's not like anything concrete. It's kind of up in the air. But moving on from that, we have a note here from Admin 2. The admins here are playing a huge part. And dude, I wish they were named, because I'm led to believe that the admins are the same character no matter what. Can't prove that, but it's only, like, you don't see admin 3 or 4. You don't see admin 5 or 6. You only see admin 1 and 2. And it's again, it's not clear who the admins are. But from this little brief, we can guess. And we are going to guess today, because it could be any number of people. But let's just kind of we'll read this blurb, and then we'll kind of we'll try to figure it out. Console. I know what you're doing, Oris. Progress on the research I requested has all but stalled. No more supplies will be approved for your projects until I see something change. Remember, this is for the security of Valeria. Either you are a patriot or you are a traitor. I know which side I would choose. So, again, it's not clear who this is. Now, I think a lot of people are going to speculate here and be like, oh, this is King Munin. King Munin, we have a name for him now. And I'm not going to put King Munin. I don't know. I feel like we can put King Munin down. But I think King Munin and Oris have a relationship, like an actual romantic relationship. And I don't think it is him, but I will put him down. Munin. So it could be Munin. But there's 2 other people I think it could be. Technically 3. So admin 2 could be Munin. It could be General Sadil, which General Sadil is, I believe, just like the right hand of Munin. So it could be Sadil. But then we're going to put Asta down, because Asta is the one who's been trying to cover up the flow problem. It's not clear. One other person I do think this could be is Vera Samaras. Now, I don't have proof of that, but Vera did volunteer to be a test subject for Oris's experiments. So it is possible that this is Vera, but if it is, I mean, it's a huge connection. But for that to be admin 2, I don't know. It's kind of up in the air, but I am going to put Vera down as a person who this would be. Because it says, progress on the research I requested has all but stalled. So, on the research I requested, so if it is the Minister of Flow, if it is Asa or Vera, whoever is the real Minister of Flow, then that's interesting. So then we have confirmation on who Admin 2 is, but again, I don't know. But this is all we get from Admin 2. We don't get anything else at all, which is kind of weird, you know? But then, of course, we have a message from Titus. Titus is... I don't know, Titus is a reoccurring character a lot, because his story got a lot more fleshed out when it came to... Like, he's always been around as part of the Overseer Stations, but when we found the Gardener, that's when, everything kind of changed and he became a huge story. Him and Veyra became a huge story point, and I thought that was really interesting. But yeah, he sent a message to Oris here, which is interesting. So let's go ahead and read it. Consul, yo, I don't like that there's a yo here. I don't know why there's a yo. Did they say that back then? Yo? Yo. 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 So, yo. Found this address deep in the files while I was messing around with the gardener's flow walls. Is there really a 5th facility? How come none of us knew about it? What are you working on over there? So, for those who don't know, if you didn't read the last, or if you didn't watch the last video on the lore, basically, so Veyra, or I don't know, I guess the people, it's so weird, man. It's so hard to explain. Basically, Galen, Hephaestus, Enema, and Titus were all left in dark about the 5th facility. They didn't know about Cosmoflow, and that's so weird. Like, this Cosmoflow was kept a secret. No one knew about it except Oris and the people that worked with Oris. Super strange. Titus found the address, but it was explained that Veyra was the one who introduced all of them to Oris. But Titus found the address before even being introduced. So the fact that like Titus was looking into it is interesting. And didn't even know. It's so weird because in the lore book, Oris held a class on Cosmoflow. And it makes me wonder how the overseers didn't know about Cosmoflow, didn't know about the facility. There's a lot of cover up in this lore, man. There's so much cover up. It's crazy. But moving on. So there was a message that there's a question mark here, like question mark, question mark, question mark from someone. The message was corrupted, so we couldn't get anything on it. And it's not clear who it would have been. I'm assuming it was someone who is accessing the facility currently. But again, it's hard to say. But then we move on to Titus. He gives another message to Oris. But here's the thing. I don't think this is to Oris. And I could be wrong. But let's keep going here. Because he says, Consul. Okay, babe. I'll delete your messages from my inbox. Sorry. Just want to make sure you're fine and still, alive. We're locked up tight here over at the garden. Connection might drop at any moment. If it does, I'm coming to find you. Just be safe and keep trying to save the world, okay? So this is a weird one. I don't believe Titus and Oris were a thing. I believe Titus sent the message to the wrong facility, was trying to send to Enema, because I'm pretty sure Titus and Enema are a thing. I can't remember. I know that Titus had a relationship with someone. I'm pretty sure it was Enema, which is the Keeper of the Gales. But it is interesting that the message didn't go to Enema and it went to Oris. So kind of weird because Moodin and Oris had a thing. The King and Oris had a thing. I don't think Oris and Titus had a thing because Oris was never mentioned at that point. Oris hadn't existed as a character until now. So I don't think this is anything. But like clearly Titus was trying to get a hold of this person and yeah, Enema probably didn't make it out. But again, we don't know if any of these characters are alive or dead. We have no way of knowing because this is all lore. Who knows? But moving on, this is where things get interesting. So one thing I want to point out about the days, I actually did so at the beginning of this video, I did the math on like the time here. How many days have passed since this happened? Did the math. 20 years have passed since anything here was done. Now, it's weird. So we got admin 1 here to start, right? And admin 1 hasn't really popped up at all until now. Admin 1, action, engage mirror protocol. So opening that third plane. Result successful. Now, I want to theorize about who admin 1 could be. Because it's interesting. We have no idea who they are. And, you know, King Mutin, it's not clear if he died or not. People just, I believe Orr said he just disappeared. So, there's nothing there. But, yeah, it's not clear. But then we move on here. Orus disengaged mirror protocol. Successful. So, Orus disengaged it after admin 1 engaged it. And the third plane was shut off. Keep going. Orus engaged Cosmos Protocol Temple lockdown. Successful. Engaging the Cosmos Protocol is how we showed up in this current timeline. And that was like how Orus saved everyone. And then keep going here. Orus engaged Cosmos Protocol Artifact lockdown. Successful. Orus action send message recipient Titus. So Orus and Titus were communicating back and forth, but it's not clear if they were an item, if they were together. I do believe Titus and Enema were the couple here, but it's not clear. But whatever Orus sent to Titus is probably really important. We're probably never going to know what that message was. But that was a success. And here's what's interesting. So Orus engaged the Cosmos Protocol Temple lockdown and the Artifact lockdown. Then after sending the message, Orus disengages Cosmos Protocol Temple lockdown, which is weird and successful. And then Titus was suddenly here, and he enabled safe mode. So I don't know what I'm assuming Orus was like, Titus, come on down over here, enable safe mode. Something happened here. And then Titus engages Cosmos Protocol Temple lockdown. So it's weird. Orus leaves the temple, I'm assuming, and Titus comes by to actually finish this. It's so weird. Titus engages the lockdown again. I'm assuming does... Okay, no. So Titus is the reason like this still happened, but I'm assuming... So how Orus' story ended was Orus went to go take a walk. That's how it ended. It didn't say what happened afterwards, but basically it was a goodbye for now. I'm assuming Orus might have died, so Orus isn't around anymore, but Titus is the one who finished this. And then what's interesting is Admin 1 engages the mirror protocol. So opens the third plane. We don't know what the third plane is, but so the thing with the third plane opened like a reality to where creatures and monsters poured into our dimension. So what's weird is the same thing is happening here. Admin 1 wants the mirror protocol to activate again and for those creatures to pour back in. That could be a problem. And it was successful, and that was 5 days ago. And then Admin 1 disabled safe mode. And that's where the story ends. Now, I want to kind of peel off of this again, because Admin 1 could be a lot of people. But the person who introduced the idea of the mirror protocol to Orus was King Mutin. So Mutin, I think, is Admin 1, as well as Sadil. Because, I don't know, Mutin disappearing and nothing else about him was mentioned makes me think that he is Admin 1. But there's no proof, obviously. We don't know that. But if he activated the mirror protocol in the first place and he enabled it again, I don't know, man. I feel like there's something there. There has to be a reason for doing that. He's the only one. He and Oris are the only one that knew about the mirror protocol. No one else. Him. I think Mugen is alive. And if that's the case, we're a little screwed. But then there's also, like, you know, Tamala could be Admin 1. But that wouldn't make sense. Or it could be Oris. Oris could be alive, but Oris wouldn't do that. Oris is trying to fix all the problems. Again, it's not clear. None of this is clear. We don't know who the admins are or what they want, but it is clear, like, there are sides here. I want to say, like, on the good side of things, you've got Galen, Hephaestus, and Enema, Titus, and Oris. That's a good side of things. The bad side, I believe, is Mugen, Sadil, Asta, and Vera. And whoever else. But I do think we are going to see a side of good and evil pretty soon. I mean, in the lore, it's clear who's on the good side and who's on the bad side. But I'm wondering if any of these characters are going to pop up. Because we don't know if any of them are actually dead or alive. It's been 20 years since all of this happened. So, potentially, I mean, these people could still be alive. 20 years passing, that's not a lot of time. I mean, it is a lot of time, but at the same time, it's not 100 years. You know? So there is a chance that everyone here could be alive. And we could meet them in-game at some point through the lore. Again, I haven't played through the full expansion, so it's hard to say, like, what's what, but man, I'm hopeful. But anywho, that's going to be the video for today, but thank you guys for watching. If you did, as always, I appreciate it a ton, and I will see you guys in the next video, and yeah, goodbye!